Did you want to go see the guy? He's from,
Who is this?
he's a martial arts guy from, remember the Spawn?
No.
Movie Spawn?
No. What did they say about the...
They bought it.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Not by much. Well, look at these.
What? Oh, yeah.
Not that I recommend getting one. Oh, I don't know what that's from.
What?
The Hobbit.
Oh,
It
okay.
was one of the swords, the little swords they had.
Okay.
Yeah, look in there, but
Yeah. So what was he?
They didn't learn, they really didn't come up with the body language
he was the guy for Spawn.
that I developed for the character. It's really weird.
Spawn was a guy that
until I had to play the character.
Was
But I
he was a good guy. Then what happened was they killed his wife or something like that, the devil type thing. It was like a chemical technique. He almost kind of looked like Venom, but he wasn't Venom.
different. Like if I were to have to stand or grab something,
Let's go look around. No, we don't.
Well,
Did you want to sit and listen?
yeah, we could sit there for a
Well, I
while.
was going to look around. You can sit and listen.
Okay.
Just as long as I know where you're at, okay?
Okay.
I know you're not taking off on me, so yeah, I was just looking for you to see.
I could do this. A regular guy would do that, right? If I had the Spawn suit on, I had to do that like this. You see, you can't just move like a guy in a suit because all of a sudden you're a guy in a suit. It's got to be just a little bit different. But the stunt guys didn't know how to do that, and so there was a visual difference in everything I did. Like even if I were to walk and turn, I would pace it out and practice how to do it a little bit different, like move a little more smooth. I was doing it for my character, but then I was trying to teach the stunt guys and they couldn't do it. So then guess who was stuck doing all the stunts? I was running on beams like 100 feet up in the air because I moved a little bit differently. So, so that wound up being something that I didn't expect. I probably never really never told that story before. So I just wanted to think of something that really I hadn't said before. Anybody, more questions?
What?
What was it like working with John Leguizamo? John was just nothing but a ball of energy. I saw the pain he was going through. He was having a really bad reaction to the makeup. He was breaking out in terrible sores. And then the next day you gotta put makeup and glue all over those sores. And so that made me go, wow. What's that? Yeah, well, John wasn't very cranky, but I saw the pain he was going through. But he kind of kept that silent. He was a trooper, and he really did. He put those maggots in his mouth too. That was for real. Yeah, that was weird. Anybody else? Elaborate on my martial arts career. Yeah, I've been doing martial arts since I was like 7 years old. So I made I achieved my 8th black belt about a couple of years ago. I did a lot of different styles, Korean styles, Japanese styles, Chinese styles, and it's just something that I've been doing for a for a really long time, and I continue to do. I think it's something that really is very important to me, and probably a big component of anything I've succeeded in, because it really teaches you discipline, and without discipline, you can't achieve these things. Oh, the video with Kimbo. Yeah, I sparred with a lot of guys like that. I spar with there's no UFC fighter that I wouldn't spar with. In fact, I like training with those guys because it's like I can live vicariously through them to some degree. Because of course, there's part of me that wanted to compete in that, but I can't. I'm busy doing what I do. But actually, I don't know if you know the movie Never Back Down 2. Originally, that was supposed to be Anderson Silva that I spar with. And I was looking forward to sparring with Anderson Silva just without choreography. Just a real sparring match. But I wound up doing that with Lyoto Machida. And none of the stuff in the ring, none of that is choreographed at all. So, that's just us sparring against each other. And so that's like, it's insane I was the director of the movie. So it's insane that your director is fighting a UFC champion. But, that's one of those ways where I can still actually, indulge myself with the competing at the same time.
Series video. Deep Roy, famed actor, will lead you a photo op at Froggy's photo booth at the South End in 5 minutes. So come on down to the end and take a photo with Deep and enjoy yourself in the center. This is Harry City Colorado.
Oh, okay. Future projects. Well, I don't know if you guys know, I have a movie called Skin Trade coming out in a couple months. It's with myself, Tony Jaa, Dolph Lundgren, Ron Perlman, and Peter Weller. Yeah, I said Dolph Lundgren, right? Yeah. That's clearly an action movie. I think it's coming out in May. Wait a minute, that's next month, right? Yeah, next month. So I think there's going to be more trailers and stuff to it. But it's mainly a Tony Jaa and Dolph Lundgren movie, and we fill in the rest of it. My favorite project thus far had to be Black Dynamite. Yeah, because that came out of my brain. That whole idea came out of. I was driving along listening to a song called Superbad by James Brown, and then I kind of dreamt up the whole movie, and I'm just cracking up to myself, thinking of like this ridiculous movie where some kind of player guy winds up fighting the president of the United States in a nunchuck fight at the end. And so to have a goofy idea like this on the way to set one day, to actually shooting it and having other people like it as well, that makes it my favorite. Yeah, I first was going to call it Superbad, but then that movie Superbad beat me by 1 month as far as the title. And I'm like, why are they called Superbad? It's got nothing to do with the title. But I warmed up to Black Dynamite. I think that wound up being a better title anyway. Was that? What, Black Dynamite? It's a combination of different blaxploitation ideas, movies. Most of them said black, and then there's, a lot of them. Dynamite was one of the big sayings back then. Huh? Yeah, I finished writing Black Dynamite 2, and I think it's really good. Yeah. I think it'll surprise a lot of people. Oh no, I would keep that a surprise. There's people who are down to do it that I've had a lot of conversations, and it's really a who's who in Hollywood. Some of the people that were going to do Black Dynamite 1, they are really like, they made sure that they say, Michael, if you're doing the Black Dynamite 2, I gotta be a part of it. A few of the people who were almost in Black Dynamite 1 was Gene Simmons was actually going to be the mob boss, but it conflicted with his reality show. And Frankie Valli actually was going to be in it as well. But then there's like a lot of people. Actually, Dave Chappelle threatened to shoot me if he's not in Black Dynamite 2. So I don't want to be shot, so you might see him. Anyone? Well, Expendables, I don't know anything about. I mean, just to be real clear, whether it's Marvel, DC, Expendables, or anybody else's franchise, I really don't put much thought into it. I'm really just focusing on doing my own thing. If I'm invited to their party, then okay. But I don't really, I really don't track what, like say, Sly is doing, with his Expendables thing. I hope they go back to the formula they had in Expendables 1, because I think it was successful because they weren't trying to be cute. And I think in this last one they were trying to be cute, and then, I think they suffered because of it. So, I mean, if I'm invited to the party, fine. If I'm not, that's fine as well. See, that's why I said that. The Marvel and DC, I don't care. It's like, they do what they do. I don't track it. I don't track it. It's kind of like, they have a Hollywood way of doing things. I particularly like a different brand. I really don't see a lot of those movies. I kind of like it, I kind of like like I say, the Expendables 1 type of movie making where it's mano a mano, it's not a bunch of camera tricks, it's not a lot of fluff. So I tend to want to do some of the things that I'm like more interested in. And I honestly, I don't track what they do. I don't watch it. It's not my type of thing. I think it's for a younger crowd that it's just not me. So I mean, all power to them, but that's just not my thing. Yes? Martial arts has helped me in my movies and helped me in my life because the best thing about martial arts is it teaches you discipline. And discipline, when you have discipline, you can accomplish anything. In martial arts, you're always overcoming obstacles. Like, you're a white belt and you overcome an obstacle, you become a yellow belt. You keep overcoming obstacles to your black belt. And then when you're a black belt, you continue to do that. So when you have a strong mind, you can overcome anything. So that's the best thing about martial arts. Do I have a favorite blaxploitation movie? Yeah, I have a few of them. I like The Mac for a few reasons. If you look at The Mac, then you look at Hustle and Flow, you realize like Hustle and Flow is kind of an updated version of it. It's a slice of life movie, and here's the weird thing. I kind of caught myself in a mistake just now. The Mac wasn't a blaxploitation movie at all. It's here's the shame part of it. There were movies back then that were just movies. There were action movies, there were dramas, but they had black people in them, right? Like say Shaft was not a blaxploitation movie. That was a movie before the word blaxploitation ever came up. But unfortunately, all the movies back then that were in the 70s, they kind of got called blaxploitation. That's not the truth. Blaxploitation was when action movies with black people in them became successful. And then terrible movies that exploited the fact that these movies were making money became blaxploitation movies. Those movies were movies that were big, they were barely movies. They were like, you know, the cheapest thing ever. Like, they will have sometimes like an Italian cast and then have one black guy in it. And then that black guy is on the cover of the movie. That's truly a blaxploitation movie. So it would advertise like it was a black movie to get that audience there. That's truly what that was. Because there were these blaxploitation movies. Unfortunately, all of the movies around it start getting labeled blaxploitation. The Mac was a drama. That's exactly what it was. But if you make the Mac, you know, the Mac's nephew, that's a blaxploitation movie. That's exploiting the Mac, you know. So it's kind of a weird labeling system back then. Yes. Any new movies I'm coming out with? I have, in addition to Skin Trade, which is the one with Tony Jaa and Dolph Lundgren, I have a movie called Echo Effect with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And